Hi, this is James Garden of CineTechGeek, and I'm still at CinemaCon 2016, and laser is the story of the show, and I've got another laser system to show you, and this is a very interesting one. This company, Power Technology. Now, the reason why this company is interesting is because they're a laser company more before they are a cinema company. So they're bringing laser knowledge and IP to the cinema industry rather than what most of the other people are doing the other way around. And because of this, their solutions actually have capabilities a little bit a little bit advanced in some ways than the rest of them. So I want to let Chris here, he'll tell us about the company, but then we'll go over their new light farm technology. So take it away, Chris.
Last year at CinemaCon, we introduced the Illumina cinema laser system, which was basically a one-to-one replacing xenon with one laser system to power that one projector. This year, we've introduced a one-to-many application, which is the Illumina Light Farm. It is a one-to-many application. We have one large amount of lumens that we can feed fiber optically to multiple cinema projectors throughout the entire theater complex.
That's right. But so one of the big things about laser is there's a 6P and there's a 3P. So what's the story with you on that aspect of it?
We have 3P right now. Of course, covering the same things as most folks do. We have a Rec 709, P3, 95% of Rec 2020, and we're coming out with our 6P version this August or September.
And the 6P is mainly for 3D capability. So are we looking at an infotech type color differential sort of 3D with that?
No. Ours will have huge 3D applications. Of course, that's going to be the primary thing, but it won't be as much the infotech style.
That's right, yeah.
But it will also contribute to, of course, speckle reduction, which is one of our specialties.
That's right.
Which we brought to the table based on a huge study we did for a military supplier that was specifically engineered to reduce speckle.
So let's talk about that for a second.
Sure.
So the fact that they are 3D, and the fact that, sorry, not 3D, 3P, so three primary lasers, red, green and blue. One of the big issues and one of the reasons why, apart from 3D, that a lot of the vendors did go to a multiple primary solution like 6P is because adding more primaries is a form of speckle reduction. But the interesting discussion with Chris is that, from my understanding, your development in the past, your actual 3P system actually has 3 separate speckle mitigation systems in it already.
Correct, already. There are 3 separate speckle reduction methodologies built into the system itself, and using that 6P configuration is not one of them. That's
right.
Going to be a 4th on top of it to increase that spectral bandwidth to mitigate the speckle that so many people are having problems with.
That's right. Now, I find this very interesting because one of the new qualities of going next generation cinema is actually Rec 2020. Mm-hmm. 6P pulls back from Rec, so if you're a 6P, you're pulling away from the Rec 2020 primaries at a significant amount. So it's very interesting to me when Chris says 95% of the Rec 2020 color space. So obviously, if you understand anything about speckle, it's 95% because they've got these speckle mitigation systems in there, because speckle mitigation basically reduces your ability to reach Rec 2020. Now, that's a give and take. So we've got a new color space, possibility of making newer, higher saturated color images. But exactly what that means to the cinema industry and the production industry and the mastering industry is still to be sort of panned out. The mastering people have to start to use it. They need to know when they're going to use it, etc. So my point being here is that the fact that you do very good speckle mitigation at 3P, allowing for a good 95% saturation of the Rec 2020,
absolutely,
is an interesting factor of their system. And it's something you should keep in mind because these are the sort of new developments that we're going to be talking about in the future. So just keep those informed ideas up there. So,
and I'm looking forward to how our 6P, how much more of that 2020 we're going to be able to encapsulate and expand outside of. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that comes this fall.
And thank you very much. So just quickly, because you mentioned the farm. So when we say farm, we're talking about behind us is racks of their modules, right?
That's correct.
And you would house these modules in a single location.
Correct.
But you would fiber optically feed all your projectors in your total. You might have a booth which is about very long and it's got 4 projectors on each side, eight projectors total.
Exactly.
But you would have this one rack sitting at the one end, and it
Correct.
would feed them all from this one location.
Correct. It could be 1, 2 racks, depending on how many lumens you need. You may have a 15,000 lumen screen sitting next to a 30,000 lumen screen, sitting next to a 10,000 lumen screen. The great thing about a farm is that you can dynamically adjust how many lumens you're giving to each projector. And it's all controlled from a single location, cooled and powered from a single location, so you save on electricity, you save on cooling, all of those things, but more importantly, you can feed the exact number of lumens you need to every projector for whatever even movie you're showing. If you need to push your lumens because you're showing 3D, because 3D gets so dark, you can push it with this system because you can control exactly how much power you're sending to each unit.
Cool. Now that's very interesting because I don't really hear anyone else talking about it in this way yet.
Yeah.
So this is the first implementation. Now, okay, I'll get more into some depth of it. So
Okay.
this is an inductive cooling laser system.
This is air cooled, okay?
Air cooled, yes, what I
air
mean.
cooled. Everyone else is going liquid cooled. But once again, this is where our laser expertise comes into play. Since we are primarily a laser company that has brought our expertise to cinema, that we understand that thermoelectric cooling much better, and we've been doing it for 30 years.
So I know that the other guys, specifically Barco, with their active cooling,
Right.
liquid cooling,
Sure.
and they say that that's sort of required to get to the 30,000 hours. So you're not using active cooling, you're using air cooling or induction cooling.
Correct.
What are you talking the same?
We're talking apples to apples. Their 30,000 hours and my 30,000 hours, we're talking about exactly the same light output. We're measuring everything against xenon just like everyone else is. This just happens to be, this in addition to speckle. Cooling and speckle are kind of our 2 areas of expertise from being in the laser business for 50 years.
Okay, wow. Well, that's something to consider and something to investigate. So if you're interested in going to laser, it sounds like a vendor that you should talk to. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you, James. Appreciate
and
you.
I'll hope to see you again.
Of course, thank you.
See you, mate. This is James Gardner, CineTechGeek at CinemaCon 2016. Bye for now.